Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Did you do anything in that St. Joe's game?
No, I was strictly playing defense. Delonte West was tough. That's a pro. Oh, my God. That step back.
Wait, hold on. 40 minutes. You didn't even get a rest.
No, I
You
played the whole
40,
game.
6 for 11 from the field.
That was me.
12 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
Oh, I was nice that game. I thought I ain't getting double figures.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Vince Williams is going to go to All-Star Weekend. Now, what a great thing for him.
Kudos to Vince Williams Jr. You know, he was an injury replacement on the Panini Rising Stars. He'll get a chance to be part of the All-Star Weekend showcase.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Ahead of you, catch me as something you'll never do. I turn around and I level you. No motivation is needed. Look, I put myself on the pedestal. This is incredible.
Take your fandom to the next level with the official Grizzlies app. Go all access and behind the scenes.
It's got to be heavy defense. That's where it starts for us.
Personalized to where you are and who you are. Get easy access to ticketing, the game day guide, and your own app customization right at your fingertips. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio. I'm really here in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're happy to see me back in studio. I'm happy to be back in studio.
I'm glad to have you back.
I'm glad to have me back too. So I hope everybody else, because I'm here for today and for the foreseeable future.
How about that?
I don't have any plans to go anywhere anytime soon, Bennett. I'm gonna be here. If you need me at 10 o'clock in the morning anytime soon, I'll be look right here. This is where I'll be.
Take that, college basketball.
Take that, college basketball. You can't beat me down. I mean, you can, but not forever. We'll chit-chat momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, Mike Wallace is going to join me. He's in Cleveland. You might have checked out on this Grizzlies season, but Mike Wallace hasn't. Wallace hasn't.
I'm still here.
I don't mean you. I just meant like people.
Oh, okay.
But what did they say? Hurt dog barks. Isn't that something?
I do not think that's the saying.
A hit dog barks.
I'm not so sure that's it. Let me do some Google searches.
So, let me set the show up. You do some Google searches because I believe a dog barks sometimes when it's hit by something. I think you were just an example. I think you were an example of that. You look that up. Mike Wallace going to be here live from Cleveland. The Grizzlies got another game tonight. It's against the Cavaliers. Mike Wallace going to be here.
No, a hit dog will holler.
There you go.
A hit dog will holler.
A hit dog will holler. We'll explore that momentarily. Mike Wallace is going to be here in the next segment. When I finish talking to Mike, let's keep it going.
Okay.
Let's keep it going. Take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, it's now official. John Calipari is the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. So Kentucky needs a new coach. We'll get into that situation in just a bit. The TV ratings are now in. It's official. Women's title game did outdraw the men's title game. I'll tell you what that means and what it doesn't mean. We'll do that a little later on in the show. The search for a 20-year-old man. What a sad story this is. Can't believe I put this in here. The search for a 20-year-old man who jumped off a Caribbean cruise has been halted. You know what that means, Bennett?
He's dead.
Dead, lost at sea. It's a crazy story. Do you know about this story?
I vaguely.
It's a wild situation. I'll tell you what happened in the third segment. Baltimore Orioles. Oh, buddy.
Yes, sir.
They're calling up their 20-year-old phenom Jackson Holiday. We'll get Bennett's thoughts on that in just a bit. And by the time we get back in here tomorrow, it's a big day around this place, isn't it? Round 1 of the Masters is going to be underway. I'll give you the latest odds during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start just by thanking Kelsey Wright Johnson, Bennett Doyle right there, Kyra Black, Jacob Blevins, Jalen Wallace, Robbie Weaver, everybody else who has helped us get through these past few weeks while I was consumed with the NCAA tournament. It's not the easiest time of the year for me, if I'm being honest, Big Bennett. You get pulled in a lot of different directions.
Used to it.
I don't think I could get through it without you guys, holding things down here. So I wanted to say I appreciate you and thank you for doing that. It puts a lot of extra work on people who they got their own things going on. So I appreciate everybody accommodating my schedule, especially you, Big Bennett. But I'm gonna be here for the foreseeable future, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, I'm going to be in here every day for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've always said in recent years, people say, "What's your favorite day of the year?" Right? They go, "Ooh, I love Christmas."
Yeah,
because people do love Christmas, don't they?
I love Christmas.
It's a holy day.
It's one of my favorite days.
It's what's the thing that they put next to Christmas? It's the reason for the season. He is.
Yes, that's right.
He's the reason for the season.
Yes, that's
so
what they
people
say.
like that. I've always said my favorite day is the Tuesday after the national championship game. But that's no longer true because I found myself working like crazy on the Tuesday after the national championship game, and I didn't get home until after midnight last night. I didn't probably fall asleep till around 3 in the morning because I'm still operating on West Coast time. I've been living on the West Coast, not really, but certainly in the Pacific time zone for about a week now. So I'm still operating on that kind of time. So I didn't go to bed till about 3. So if I look tired, I am. If I sound tired, I am. But here's my plan. You let me get a nap in this afternoon, wake up, take a shower, I'm gonna be a new man. And then it's fresh GP
Let's go.
for the rest of the spring, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Tell me about that hit dog.
Yeah, hit dog a holler.
That's what I tried to tell you. And so when I was just talking to the camera.
Yeah.
You thought I was talking to you.
No, hit dog a holler.
You thought I was talking to you. You want to know why you thought I was talking to you? Because a hit dog will holler.
Yeah.
I said, hey, if you've lost interest in this Grizzly season, that's fine. But Mike Wallace hadn't. And you said, I hadn't. Hit dog will holler.
Yeah.
You were being a hit dog.
Yes, I was.
Have you lost interest in this Grizzly season? You got an opportunity to see Victor Wembanyama last night. You can't find joy in that?
No, it was cool, but you know what? It's not like he had an amazing game.
But his presence is amazing.
His presence is amazing.
His presence is a present.
Dude, he is. I don't think this is like some hot take or anything. He's going to be the best player in the NBA at some point.
Like maybe by the end of the week.
Maybe like tomorrow.
Maybe by the end of the week.
He's going to be the best player in the NBA at some point. And the reason being is because like you watch that guy and he doesn't even have to get off the ground to lay the ball in the bucket.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's insane.
Doesn't that make everything easier?
I don't
Doesn't
even
that make
understand
everything?
it.
When they invented the game of basketball, they didn't account for people like this.
No, it's
which
just
by the way, sounds like just like a joke. It's 100% true.
Yes.
Like when they built the sport, when they designed the sport of basketball, they don't account for people like this. It's a little bit like once upon a time when they built golf courses, they built them for people like me. And then people like Tiger Woods came along, and they were like, well, we got to change these golf courses because this ain't fun for anybody anymore. So, like, they had to actually change the sport of golf by lengthening golf courses because people hit the ball too far these days because Tiger Woods broke golf courses all over the world. Victor Wembanyama is the same thing.
He's breaking the game of basketball.
They didn't account for people like this.
No.
They thought when Dr. Naismith invented the sport of basketball, he thought it was going to be me.
Raise the rims.
He thought it was going to be me.
Raise the rims.
Do you understand that when they designed basketball, they built it for me?
Yes.
And you.
That's right.
They didn't build it for LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama and Kevin Durant.
It's not supposed to be this easy.
No, basketball was supposed to be my sport.
Yes.
And then, now look. It's Victor Wembanyama's sport.
Yep.
He is outrageous.
It's insane to watch.
He's outrageous.
Yeah, it's insane to watch. Again, he didn't have a great game last night, but just you watch some of the things he does, like the blocks that he gets, there's not – I mean, some of them, yes, there is a lot of effort. Some of them, there's no effort. I mean, it's just
– he's just there.
Arm up. Yes.
Well, we just finished this college basketball season, and for the past few weeks, I guess, while Purdue was on its way to the Final Four, there's a lot of attention on Zach Edey. Like, he's so big. My God, Zach Edey's so big. My God, what do you do with him? He's so big. He is bigger than Wembanyama in the sense that, he's bigger. He ain't taller. They're the same height.
Right.
They're the same height. And one of them is, like, on offense, more or less confined to right here.
Yeah.
And the other one can just wherever you want him.
Oh, yeah, he can move. He's very shifty. Sneaky shifty.
Sneaky shifty.
He's sneaky shifty.
Sneaky shifty. He's a wild fella.
Yeah. And I saw, like, I was talking about it when we did the pregame thing last night. ESPN just put out a story that was kind of chronicling his entire season and just talking about he doesn't like losing. Like, we know that, but he understands, like, the situation that he's in. And I was asked, do you think that, Wembanyama would be willing to put up with multiple losing seasons on the Spurs? I don't. I also think that as long as Pop's there, you're not going to go multiple losing seasons in a row. Like, they're going to figure that thing out.
Well, they've had multiple seasons in a row.
Yeah, I know, but now they have their centerpiece. Like, they had to go get their star.
I do think they need to do things to get better quickly.
They're going to have to.
Right.
And
I don't think you want to put him through this.
No, because he does not. You can tell that he feels like, and they've acknowledged that he's being held back a little bit.
Right.
There's more. There's more of him that we haven't seen yet.
Well, it's also interesting that some of the awards he may or may not win are going to be reliant on team success because that's the way awards work. Mm-hmm. So, like, I heard Jess and CJ talking about it this morning. He was ridiculous last night with the blocks again, and he's obviously ridiculous. And a lot of smart basketball people already call him the best defensive player in the world, right? But then those same people will say, but he's probably not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And you go, okay, hold up. Why is the best defensive player in the world, you just told me that, not going to win Defensive Player of the Year when all of the stats, at least individual stats, suggest that he probably should? And you know what the answer is? Listen to Jess this morning. Well, Rudy Gobert is, he's the centerpiece of the best defense in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And Victor Wembanyama is the centerpiece of bottom 10 defense in the NBA. But here's the problem with that. San Antonio's defense doesn't suck because of him.
That's right.
That ain't his fault.
Because the other four guys.
All right.
Yeah.
But so what do we? So let's just carry this through. So what are these other four guys, and by extension the rest of the roster, and by extension the losing? What are they costing Victor Wembanyama? Defensive Player of the Year. That's what you're telling me. Mm-hmm. You're telling me if the roles were if Wembanyama was the anchor of the centerpiece of the best defense, or at least a good defense, he would be the Defensive Player of the Year. But he's on a bottom 10 team. So you can't give it to him. That's what they say. Well, then the losing, what you're telling me is the suckiness around him is costing him awards. That might not get frustrating as a rookie, although I bet it does on some level, but it gets frustrating eventually. Mm-hmm. When people keep saying these things back to back, oh, yeah, he's amazing, but we can't give him that because look at his team's record. Oh, yeah, he's unbelievable, but we can't give him that because look at this metric connected to his bad team.
Right.
After a while, that'll get to you. So I do think they need to do something this offseason to like sometimes it's a slow play into the rebuild. Like, all right, let's go get another one and another lottery pick and let's see where this is. And I don't know that that's the proper way to play this one. I would try to do something to They need to be respectable enough. And by the way, it shouldn't be a hard climb to get to the play-in contention.
Right.
And I think that's enough progress in year 2 with Wembanyama where it's like that when he has to play a game on April 9th, 2025, it shouldn't feel like the game on April 9th, 2024.
Yep.
He played a game last night, and it was meaningless for everybody involved, all right? Everybody involved. Nobody cares. Mm-mm. If I'm San Antonio, my goal is when he plays a game on April 9th, 2025, it's going to be for something. We're either going to be in 11th, trying to get the 10th. We're going to be in 10th, trying to get the 9th. 9th, trying to get the 8th. 8th, trying not to slip the 9th. 8th, trying to get the 7th. 7th, trying to get the 6th. We're going to be in a conversation where we can sit down before our game on April 9th, 2025, and we can say, tonight, if we win, here's where we're at. If we lose, here's where we're at. But 100% this result matters. Let's go play. That's got to be the goal for them. And that shouldn't be hard to do. That shouldn't be hard to do.
You have the coach. You have the centerpiece. You just got to build around it.
On the subject of there was a game played on April 9th, 2024, and nobody cared on either side. Are you starting to feel that, like, in the building? Like, is it?
Yeah, I mean, last night, yeah.
Like, it's just like, everybody, let's shut it down. It's almost like, it almost feels like, you ever remember being in school, and it's like the last week of school, and it's like, it's still school, but it doesn't really feel like it. Like, it's still school, but it's time to clock out.
Yeah, I mean, for most of the fourth quarter yesterday, there was 5 guys playing for the Grizzlies that weren't on the roster to start the season.
Sure.
And most of them don't even have that most of them are 10-day guys.
Right.
Yeah, so it feels like it. And it was Spurs on a Wednesday night. Like, I know Wemby's here, but we've already seen Wemby this season, and so that takes away a little bit. We are coming off of back-to-back weekend home games with the big Marc Gasol retirement ceremony. So, yeah, last night felt a little lesser than some other Grizzlies games this season.
Well,
yeah.
it is interesting that, though, like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is also possible that in the final 3 home games in the season, if you wanted to, you can see, a
3
bunch
Hall
of
of Famers.
Yeah, you can see, a bunch of 10-day contracts.
Yep.
We got all them.
Yep.
Oh, if you want to see a 10-day contract guy, we got a bunch of them. But you also get to see Victor Wembanyama one night, perhaps our king and savior LeBron James on another, and then to close the regular season, possibly, Nikola Jokic. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it?
No, I'm down.
You're down?
I'm down.
You're excited?
Yeah.
You got 2 more games to go.
I'm ready.
Do you look as forward to, like, and I know you love the Grizzlies season, just like I love the college basketball season. I hope this never gets twisted up. I love the college. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing than covering the NCAA tournament. If I weren't covering the NCAA tournament, you know what I'd say? God, I wish I was covering the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah.
But still, like, it's a lot of work, and it wears you down.
Sure.
And so I genuinely do look forward to the end. I enjoy the journey, because you got to enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that on a bumper sticker one time. Got to enjoy the journey, right?
Yep.
If you don't enjoy the journey, what's the point?
Yep.
If you're always chasing the finish line, you're not enjoying the journey. So I enjoy the journey. I look forward to the finish line. You looking forward to the finish line? You tired of sleeping in your car?
No. You know what? I guess I'm looking forward to it a little bit, but give it like 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll be missing it again. Like
not with Jackson Holiday coming.
Exactly. No. Once it ends, I'm like, okay, yeah, and then like a couple weeks pass, and I'm ready for it to come right back.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's where I'll be too.
Yeah.
That's because now I don't even have a good baseball season to look forward to. Typically I like to.
Yeesh.
I get college basketball's over, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to, like, I really do. There's, how things in life trigger feelings for you? Do you have those? Do you have anything in life that triggers a feeling for you, like a smell or a sight or a memory or anything? Is there anything that triggers something for you?
I guess. I can't really
think. Do you
think
have post-traumatic stress disorder by chance?
It's possible. I can't think of like anything specific that I could point to, but it's possible.
Okay, well, I have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Things just trigger things for me all the time.
Okay.
Memories. Like I see something and it makes me think of something else.
Yep.
I have a bunch of these. I'm constantly being triggered by things. And one of the triggers for me is baseball. Sitting on my back, just sitting on my back porch watching baseball triggers calmness for me. It triggers that the hectic part of my year is over for me.
Actually, I do have this.
It makes me go, okay, I'm here. I finally got here again.
Yeah.
Man, buddy, it didn't feel like I was going to get here again the other night. It felt like this was so far away.
Yep.
Like, how am I ever going to get to that place again? But look at me now. The sun's setting. Mets are on TV.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel calm now.
Yep.
And I genuinely look forward to that. And the Mets stink already.
They stink already. It was a long way to go. Long way to go.
Probably the wrong way though.
No, mine is a freshly cut backyard.
What does it make you feel like?
Just like
accomplished. It makes you feel accomplished.
Yeah, accomplished. Like I want to walk around the yard barefoot with a beer in hand,
I dig that.
Yeah, it just like chill in the backyard. That brings like a calm feeling. Yes,
like getting on a plane often brings a calmness to me because
that's insane.
Well, because usually
that's insane, bro. You got issues.
I mean, I know I got
that's
issues.
Insane.
I mean,
that gives me nothing but anxiety.
I mean, we know I have issues, but typically when I get on a plane, I am in a moment where I don't have a ton to do. Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But usually I'm like, okay, I can kind of relax right now. Because you got to remember, often when I get on a plane, like every Monday when I have to go back and forth, when I get on that plane, it's like I go to Sunday night, it's like podcast.
Yeah.
And then bedtime. Wake up, it's like get the kids up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like top 25 and 1. Finish prepping the show. Come in, do this show. It's just like nonstop. Boom, boom, boom. Straight to the airport. Everything's a rush. And then I get through security, and it's like, all right, now I'm calm. I don't have anything else really to do the rest of this day.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I have to do probably is 10 a.m. tomorrow, the next episode of this show.
Mm-hmm.
So that triggers in my head, like, okay, relax a little bit. Baseball's one of those things for me, and the Mets stink already. It's tough, Bennett.
Are y'all going to do anything?
No.
No.
No, we're just going to suck.
You're just gonna suck.
Just gonna suck.
But you said, remember after last season, it was like maybe we got to skip over a year. Wasn't that the?
Yeah,
was that the year before?
It's an easy thing.
They're
to
running
say.
together.
It's
now.
an easy thing to say.
Yeah,
it's a harder thing to live through.
Next year's the year.
Next year's the year.
Next year's the year.
Easy thing to say.
It's our time now.
It's your time now. It's your time now. It's not my time. It's easy to say. Yeah, just wait for 2 years from now. You know, like just wait on for 2 years.
Yep.
But then you have to actually like do the time. Right now, I'm doing my time. You know, I'm like a prisoner doing time.
That's tough, dude.
Anyway, it's nice to be back home.
We're glad to have you back, man.
I appreciate that.
We're glad to have you back.
Mike Wallace has not given up on this Grizzlies season.
No, he hasn't.
He's still in it.
He's on the road.
Boots on the ground
Yep.
in Cleveland. Mike Wallace going to join me next.
We know there's only one team you want to watch, and Bally Sports is the place to get your Grizzlies. Experience the comebacks, the buzzer beaters, the can't-miss Memphis-made moments, live. Bally Sports keeps the grind going before and after the game, too, with Pete, Brevin, Fish, and Chris on Grizzlies Live. Watch Grizzlies basketball all season long with Bally Sports and streaming on the Bally Sports app. Bally Sports, home of the only team you want to watch.
Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
Real country music with Cody Johnson live Saturday, April 13th at FedEx Forum. Country's best. The Leather Tour with Cody Johnson. With special guest Justin Moore. Also featuring Drake Milligan. VIP and reserve seats on sale at Ticketmaster.com in the FedEx Forum box office. Cody Johnson.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
He's looking for the hot hand. Jared got the step, got the flush. There's no layups on that one.
Electric, rowdy, intense. They bring the same mentality that they bring anywhere into the building. If they were mad about something, they're bringing it in. If they were happy about something, they're bringing it in. So we need all that energy times 1,000.
Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and Mike Wallace is live in Cleveland, Ohio, in advance of tonight's game, Grizzlies Cavaliers. Mike Wallace, it's GP. How you doing on this? What day is it? Wednesday? How are you on Wednesday?
It is Wednesday, man, and I'm doing fine, man. Thanks a lot. I told you, man, we took advantage of those 2 consecutive weeks that we were in studio together, and now it's going to get back to this. So it's all good, man. Good to see you back, though, man. Great job in everything you did. We followed it. Man, you're just a remarkable dude on that TV set, man, and they wouldn't be the same without you, man. So keep up the great work.
That's really sweet of you to say. I don't know if it's true, but I do appreciate those words. Hey, I admire your dedication. You're on the road with the Grizzlies. We got 3 games left in the season. Did you ever go, you know what, do I really need to go to Cleveland? Joe Kim Noah famously one time said there's no reason to go to Cleveland, and yet in the dog days of this season, if that's a phrase we could use in basketball, you're in Cleveland, Ohio. Did you ever start to question yourself?
I did all the way up until I walked on the tarmac to get on the plane yesterday. I said, you know what, man, why am I on this? Why am I doing this? But you know what? It's one more game left, one more opportunity, and it might not be many recognizable names here in Cleveland with me on that roster, but at the end of the day, you know, it is the final road game of the season. The Grizzlies have been trying to be competitive, and you know, there's some stories that we can start showing and telling and preparing as we pivot towards the offseason, and it's always good to have access to these guys when you can get it.
There's nothing official yet, but are we operating under the assumption we have seen Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane for the last time this season?
Yes, I believe that's completely the case. I mean, Taylor Jenkins went probably 95% of the way towards making that statement definitive, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, you kind of thought, you know, do you bring those guys back for the Marc Gasol jersey retirement, and I thought that would have been the case. But when they didn't play in that game, I felt like, okay, these guys aren't going to try to risk any more soreness or ailments that they're already dealing with right now. So it just makes sense. This is the final weekend of the season. We've seen what we need to see for the most part from Dez and Jaren, and now they're just going to probably let these 2 ways in 10 days finish out the rest of the season.
You know, this does allow you to be around a lot of guys that, sure, you're unfamiliar with, we're unfamiliar with, but I bet you it's an interesting dynamic traveling with the team. On one hand, it's a disappointing season headed for the lottery. On the other hand, you're on a plane filled with, in a hotel filled with, people who are on some level right now living out a dream as an NBA player. What's that like?
There's definitely a different energy to that, right? So now you get to look at G.G. Jackson sit in the primary table in the front of the plane now. He gets to sit at the Ja Morant table on the front of the plane, right? So you see how he sort of handles being the guy that, you know, is going to be looked at from a leadership standpoint and how he carries himself. You know, you get to see a Scottie Pippen Jr., you know, obviously grow up with some level of fame, being the son of Scottie Pippen, a Hall of Famer, and everything that he's been through. But you also see that he's not taking these moments for granted either. These are moments where he's trying to convert. He's trying to do what Gigi and Vince did and flip this 2-way into an NBA standard contract one way or another in the coming season. So, you know, it's good to be around these guys. You start to see their personalities and who they are. There's a difference when Jaren and Ja and Dez and those, you know, $25 to $40 million players are around. People sort of gravitate to them, and the younger guys kind of, you know, suppress themselves a little bit. But when those guys aren't around, you get to see a little bit more personality come out from some of these other guys, and that's been good to see these last couple of weeks.
Gigi had another funny post-game moment last night when he's talking about Wemby. He said he's so high up there that when he talks, it sounds like he's whispering. And he's had a handful of these all, you know, throughout the season. You know, I think at this point we all know Anthony Edwards is one of the young stars of the NBA who's absolutely, like, genuinely hilarious. It seems like, and I won't pretend to know Gigi Jackson well or really at all, but it seems like he also has the person, like, he seems like a genuinely funny young guy. Is that an accurate assessment? He seems hilarious.
He is. And what you see in those clips and sort of the what's become memes now with his expressions, like when he was talking to Shaq for the first time, that's how he is even behind closed doors. You know, real quick story, man. I was walking up on the plane right behind Gigi yesterday, and he's reaching for some nachos off of the cart and knocks the entire cart over, right? And he's like, oh, my God. And all of his teammates are clowning him and laughing because he was trying to add a 15th thing to his hands. He just kept seeing snacks that he wanted to get. So he finally had too much, and he tipped over the cart. And he felt so bad, man, that you see this 6'9" young kid trying to help out the airline, the airline crew, put the snack cart back together, right? So that's the kind of stuff that he does, man. He's genuine when it comes to that. He's not, he's flashy, but he also is just himself. And he's comfortable in being a kid and knowing what that is about. He reminds me a lot of what Dwight Howard was when Dwight was first coming into the league. He was okay, doing the kid things and being cool with Disney and Mickey and doing all these other kind of things and being a clown on his team. But when it came time to play basketball, he took that seriously. And that's what you hear Taylor Jenkins talk about all the time, is the professional maturity on the court that he's working with GG through. And they've already started that process to tell him what he needs to do going into the offseason and how this is going to be important going into next season for him.
I guess I would prefer him not knock over the nacho cart, but I do kind of like the idea of once that happened, he was like, okay, I'm in it. I'm going to help. There was this famous video from a few years ago, Jamal Shead at Houston, the All-American guard, but at the time, he was just a role player at Houston, and they were down in Alabama, and they lost the game. It was a controversial ending, and one of the Houston coaches actually, kicked over a garbage can, and garbage just flew everywhere. And then, cameras just picked up on Jamal Shead walking off the court, and he picks the garbage can up, and he starts putting it back. He didn't want other people to have to clean up his coach's mess. Gigi, according to your story, didn't want other people to have to clean up his own mess. I know that's a very small thing, and I'm not trying to make it into anything other than what it was, but I kind of like the idea that he would help somebody clean that up. That's a good quality.
It's a character thing. It's a character when no one is watching that can have any influence on you, and you're still going to do that kind of stuff. And it kind of bookends, because that moment yesterday made me remember at the beginning of the season in Summer League, going to Salt Lake City when he was just starting to get his first opportunity to play in Salt Lake City. We had one of these team events where we went into escape room, right? So it was me, Gigi, David Roddy, and a couple other staffers. We were all teamed together in an escape room. And just seeing his personality try to figure out these clues and these puzzles, it was almost like he was playing a video game, man. And, that youthful energy, you could tell that he's the kid and we're the adults. Yeah. He's also one of those guys, man, that is just so he's fun to be around, and you want to pull for him because, he genuinely is like your little brother. Like anybody who's ever grown up with a little brother or a nephew that's close in age, but he's the younger nephew. That's exactly what Gigi is, and that's the kind of energy he brings.
I want to talk to you a little bit elsewhere around the NBA. I guess big headline, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's a calf strain, and that's better than what it could have been. But, I think immediately people start thinking calf strains. Have we seen these late in the season before? And you go, yeah, Kevin Durant a few years ago. And, this is a pretty delicate situation now for Milwaukee, isn't it?
It definitely is, man. And, it's one of those situations where, Patrick St. Andrews, who's an assistant on Taylor Jenkins' staff, was with the Bucks the past several years before this season. I asked him this morning, man, how bad is it? What was his reaction to seeing Giannis? And he said, man, when you get a calf strain like that, you're only a few steps away from it being a torn Achilles. And, that's exactly what I was in the building in Toronto when Kevin Durant tore that Achilles trying to push through the NBA Finals several years ago. So, you don't want to hope that. You don't want to compare that. But one thing Saint did say is that if there's anybody in the league that can figure out how to nurse this thing and still get maximum performance, is Giannis. This dude is he's made of rubber bands, right? He bounces back, he snaps back together. But it's just a bad time of the season for that to happen. As these guys, they already lost in the first round as a higher seeded team last year. Being upset early with Giannis has been a trend for these Bucks. Now, if you could, without Giannis, who's an MVP doing some of the things that only he is doing in the league statistically, the Bucks have no shot, man. And there's not a lot of, difference between 2 and 7 in either conference when it comes to how these playoffs are going to line up. So we'll see how long that lasts and what this means for him, but it's definitely scary.
Well, that's the thing. If this exact same thing happened to Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, you might say, all right, let's just slow play it. We're going to run through the 8 seed no matter what. Mm-hmm. We got plenty of time. There's no guarantee Milwaukee could win a first-round series without Giannis. And and the alternative to trying to play with him is these calf strains. There is by all accounts, Golden State cleared KD with the calf strain to play, and it's still boom. Yeah. And you were in the building. I was watching on TV.
Yeah,
I'll never forget. We all knew it immediately. It felt like Kevin knew it immediately, and it sucked everything out of that arena. And it was a road game, and the Raptors were on the verge of a championship, and it still just destroyed the entire everything. And I don't know if you're Giannis. I don't know how that's not in the back of your head somewhere. Right now, I don't know how that's not in your head.
And then because not only with that, though, you're talking about compromising both this season, which is delicate because of the Dame Lillard thing, and next season, right? So, and this is a guy that was already getting antsy with what was going on. He never seems to be comfortable with either the front office, the coaching staff, or even some of his own teammates now. And he's getting impatient. So this again, I don't want to wish the worst. I hope that this is something that, I hope that in best case scenario, he'll miss the rest of the remaining games this weekend. He has a week off going into, the play-in tournament, right? They'll have a week off there. And then maybe they can battle through a first-round series without him. And then you see where he is after that. But again, the way things are lining up right now, there's a chance they could see Miami in the 2-7. Miami's already taken care of them twice, right? In those situations. They could also see some other teams at the back that can find their way into upsetting the Bucks. And, again, this season for Milwaukee probably needs a hard reset one way or another, but I definitely didn't want to see it happen on these terms potentially.
Do you have a sense? I'm not a historian, but I've watched the NBA my entire life, and I don't remember the postseason so often being dictated by injuries. And now it feels like every year it's like who is okay, give me the teams that are theoretically good enough to maybe win a title. Okay, now tell me which one's going to be healthiest. I'll go with that one. It seems like injuries play such a role in the NBA playoffs. Do you have a sense has it always been this way, or is this something relatively new?
I think it's always been this way in some ways. We've seen it. As you were setting that up, I thought immediately back to the bad boy Pistons and Isaiah Thomas, right? Messing up his ankle in the finals. Magic Johnson throwing out a hamstring in those series right there. You just saw it incrementally. But even if you bring it even closer to now, it's every single team has an issue over the last few years. And even if you go back, just to last season, some of these teams got right late. The Lakers got right at the right time. But then you look at this year, Joel Embiid, he's limping around on one leg still. And what does that mean? Even though they haven't lost since he's come back, that's going to impact what they're able to do. Trae Young is coming back now to Atlanta when you look at that situation. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just came back from an injury situation, and we'll see where that is. Jamal Murray just got back on the floor. So these things are all delicate. And you already have so much parity. Like I said, you can throw in as many as 3 teams in the West and probably 3 teams in the East outside of Boston. And if they end up in the finals, it wouldn't be a surprise. We could get a surprising finals matchup based on how injuries are impacting this thing. And that's just, but you go back even before that. Chris Paul was always getting hurt in either the second round or the finals, the conference finals. And those things have always been happening. So we'll see, man. But this year, that's why these teams, when you get injuries, and the Grizzlies are the most injured team in the NBA, probably one of the most injured teams in NBA history at this rate. If you can't figure out a way to get healthy, you got to hang into these seasons as long as you can because it's so delicate, man. You could easily lose 2-3 years just like that when you think your window is wide open.
Last thing before I let you go, Grizz Cavs tonight in Cleveland. Then it's Grizz Lakers inside FedEx Forum. The Lakers still have things to play for. Are we assuming LeBron James will play Friday night inside FedEx Forum?
Yeah, he was a late addition to their available lineup last night against Golden State. The assumption is yes, because going into last night's games, the 20 teams in the playoffs and play-ins were set, right? Every team that's in is set right now. 19 teams can still jockey for position. And a lot of teams on both sides are still trying to fight for the coveted 6th seed to make sure they're not in the play-in. And the Lakers are one of those teams. They're 2 games away from being 6th. You know what I mean? They're also 2 games away from being 10th. So it's like you got to be able to fight all the way through as much as possible. He almost has to play to buy themselves a week of rest. And sometimes when that happens like that, man, you take advantage of these games. So the expectation is he'll play against the Grizzlies when they open this trip or continue this trip on Friday in FedEx Forum.
That is Mike Wallace, Grind City Media. He's on X at My Mic Check. That's at My Mic Check. You can read everything. GrindCityMedia.com. Everything's there. GrindCityMedia.com. I appreciate you being here, buddy. Get you some rest this afternoon. I admire your dedication. You're on a road, and at the end of a season, not everybody would be. Thank you for being here.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. See you soon.
Bye-bye. That's Mike Wallace, Grind City Media. It's a gamer, Mike Wallace. Bennett. Hey, a lesser man or woman would not have got on that plane.
That's right.
A lesser
well, I
man.
mean, it's his job, but
I know, but like, I bet you, if Mike Wallace would have said, "Hey, I've had enough,"
would the Grizzlies just be like, "Okay,
yeah,
so
it's fine,
just one more."
Yeah, I think so. If we can
maybe so.
Like, if we can shut down Jaren and Dez, why couldn't we shut down Mike at some point?
That's a good point.
You know, just be like, we're shutting down. We're going to shut down Jaren Jackson Jr. We're going to shut down Desmond Bain. We're going to shut down Mike Wallace, and we're just going to, we want Mike to enter next season healthy and fresh, don't we?
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
Isn't that what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be terrible if something bad happened to Mike Wallace in these final few games of the season?
I don't think we have anything to worry about.
What if Mike got hurt in the final 3 games of the season?
Well, the way this season's going, that wouldn't be that surprising, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not predicting it.
I'm not either.
I don't mean to suggest I'm predicting it. I'm just saying, what if? I'm just saying, if Mike Wallace gets hurt today walking around Cleveland and he's out, and it trickles into next season, then we're going to look back on that and wonder if we should have ever sent him to Cleveland.
Yeah, probably so.
You agree with that, don't you?
I do agree with that.
If he gets hurt today and the impact carries into next season, we're going to look up, and it's going to be fair to question whether we should have sent Mike Wallace to Cleveland under these circumstances.
I'm with you.
I'm not here to second guess anybody. I'm just saying, if Mike Wallace gets hurt and it has an impact, a negative impact on next season, these are the types of questions people are going to ask.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're fair questions. I'm not here to tell you who's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's the type of conversation that is going to materialize if Mike Wallace is to suffer an injury tonight in Cleveland and it has a negative impact on next season. But I think he's going to be okay, don't you?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine. Guess who the new head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks is?
It's our old friend.
It's our old pal, John Calipari.
Yep.
He's going to be working just across the river. I mean, it's way across the river.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to cross the river, and you got to
go through like some hills and stuff.
Oh, buddy,
yeah.
it's quite a trip.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
That's a wild trip.
Yep.
It feels like the University of Arkansas and the University of Tennessee shouldn't be so far away from us.
I know.
Why are they both so far away?
Good point. Yep.
Like Arkansas's right there. We're in Tennessee, and we can get to Ole Miss quicker.
Yep.
What does that even mean?
Weird.
It's weird. All of it's weird. John Calipari is the head coach of the Razorbacks. Kentucky needs a new coach, and they're reportedly meeting with Scott Drew soon. That's not good news for Baylor. I'll tell you why next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Are you a healthcare professional looking for a new experience? Look no further than Travel Nurses, Inc. Our extensive network of healthcare facilities across the country offers you the opportunity to discover new destinations while pursuing your passion. We provide competitive compensation, flexible contracts, and dedicated assistance. So join our community of nurses and allied health professionals and start your next adventure today. Visit our website at travelnursesinc.com for more information.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Arkansas's got a new basketball coach. It's official. His name's John Calipari.
How about that?
Ever heard of him?
I have heard of Coach Cal, yes.
Remember Coach Cal?
Yep, I'm a fan of Coach Cal.
You still are a fan of Coach Cal.
Always have been.
You know what? That's a mature way to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mature way to be. I actually think Memphis fans should be a fan of John Calipari.
I think that it is definitely over time changed a little bit. I think you obviously still have a faction of people that will never change how they feel about Coach Cal. But I think as time has passed, all these years, how long was he at Kentucky? 13 years?
15.
That's insane. It feels like it was just yesterday. I think that a lot of people look back and then you look like the program has never gotten to that level that he took it to since. And so I think people look back and realize that was a really amazing time for Memphis basketball.
Your program was engulfed in scandal because your coach was doing some things he wasn't supposed to be doing, and you had to fire him.
Yep.
And then John Calipari came to the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't get off to the best of starts. He didn't kill it through his first 5 years, but year 6 was an Elite 8. Year 7 was a Elite 8. Year 8 was a trip to the national championship game where you were just a Mario Chalmers miss away from winning a national championship. Year 9, also tremendous. And then he was offered what most people will tell you is the biggest and best job in college basketball. And so at that point, he decided, well, I can't turn this down, so I have to go to Kentucky. Why would you hate that man? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
In the moment, you feel a little betrayed.
Except if you were him, you would have done the same thing he did. That's my issue with all this stuff ever. Like, I don't care how Memphis fans feel about John Calipari. It doesn't matter to me. But, like, I personally have a hard time getting frustrated with people or upset with people or disappointed in people when they do the exact same thing I would have done under those circumstances. Like, who am I to be mad at you? Like, if I were you, I would have done. Like, just think about that practically.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, if you were me, what would you have done? Same thing you did.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then why are you mad at me? I did the same thing you would have done. And I know there's some Memphis fan out there like, I wouldn't have done it, but you're dumb. I don't care. That's silly. Like, you might not have if, like, your heart really does, like, bleed and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But, like, 99 out of 100 just normal people in the world, if you're working at Memphis and you're offered the Kentucky job, you take the Kentucky job.
Unless you're, like, Penny Hardaway.
Unless you're Penny Hardaway. That really is it.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're Penny Hardaway. Like, before that, maybe Larry Finch wouldn't have done it. Right? But it's got to be something like that.
Right.
It's got to be something like that. So, why would you be? That's always I couldn't wrap my head around that. Why I'd be mad? I would have done the same thing John Calipari did. So why would I be mad at John Calipari? So I've always thought, like, the whole I hate John Calipari, he's the worst person in the world. I've never really understood it, but I don't need to understand everything, do I? It's not. I don't have to understand everything.
Nah.
Now he's at Arkansas.
How about that, man? It's still hard to believe.
I'll tell you, there was a point in time where it was quite literally unimaginable, the idea that John Calipari would ever leave Kentucky for another SEC job.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what happened to John Calipari at Kentucky is the exact same thing that happened to Tubby Smith at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to fire him. He was not bad enough to get fired, but he was not great enough to where the fans turned on him and made his life so miserable that it was time to go do something else somewhere else.
He got in front of this.
It's the Tubby Smith story all over again. Like the Tubby highs were not as high as the John Calipari highs, although they both have one national championship. Tubby won in 10 years. John won in 15. And the John Calipari lows were lower than the Tubby Smith lows. John's missed the NCAA tournament, lost to St. Peter's in the first round, Oakland in the first round, is responsible for the worst Kentucky season in modern history. Tubby Smith never missed the NCAA tournament at Kentucky. So John went to more Final Fours, but John also had the worst seasons. Either way, what is exactly the same is that Tubby Smith and John Calipari at Kentucky both reached a point where they weren't bad enough, or at least they were too expensive at the time, or some combination of the two, to push the administration to actually terminate them and move on. But they were not great enough or disappointing enough where the fans said, we don't believe in you anymore, and we're going to make your life miserable, so much so that you'll start looking around. And for Tubby, he took the Minnesota job. And for Kentucky, your guy took the Arkansas job. And so I do think that's an interesting dynamic to explore some other time. 2 of your last 3 coaches have won national championships for you and then decided, I can't be here anymore. I just rather work anywhere else. If the money's comparable, please take me somewhere else. Think about that. It's similar at Indiana. Like Indiana likes to think of itself as this blue blood program that if you're a basketball coach, it should be your dream to coach there.
Yes.
You know what coaches tell you? When's the last guy that didn't get fired at Indiana? Because it was before Bobby Knight. They fired Bobby Knight, and they fired every coach since Bobby Knight. Nobody gets out of there alive. Nobody gets out of there alive. Nobody gets to walk gracefully into retirement at Indiana.
Yep.
Nobody gets a long leash at Indiana. So how great of a job is it? Think of it in your own profession. Forget college basketball coaching. Whatever your profession is, you're in medical sales. Hey, this medical sales company wants to hire you. Oh, wow. They say they're the best medical sales company in the whole world. Oh, that's amazing. So, like, what happens to the other people who've ever worked there before? Oh, they all get fired. Every one of them? Yes, every one of them. They fire everybody. So nobody's ever made it to retirement? Oh, no. Everybody has been fired there. Yeah. Why is it a great job then? Fair question, right?
It's a fair question, yes.
So at Kentucky, they need to explore this at some point. At Indiana, they need to explore that at some point. But either way, it's a big job. It's a really big job. And to walk away from it voluntarily is an obviously hard thing to do. But it's the smart thing to do given the quality of life that at this point was non-existent for John and Ellen in Lexington. Again, I know it's probably easier for folks in Memphis to understand this because a lot of people in Memphis know John and know Ellen.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's easy to look at them as these rich characters in college basketball like they're not real people. They're real people. And it's not fun. Like, to imagine if you lived in a community and you knew everybody would rather you not live in that community anymore. Like, it's a hard thing to, and when you're John Calipari, you can isolate yourself and insulate yourself and kind of live in your own little bubble. Just surround yourself with people who tell you you're great and try to keep it right here, but it's still difficult and you feel it. You feel it. And by all accounts, he's been feeling that in not just recent weeks, but in recent years. And if you saw his video that he posted after we got done yesterday here on this show, he more or less said, it's become clear to Ellen and I, he always includes her in this, that this program needs a different voice. It's almost like, when you hear a politician often when politicians resign, the mayor resigns or a congressman resigns, it's not always because they have to. But you'll hear them say this over and over again. I've lost my ability to lead. People don't hear me anymore. People can't focus on what I'm actually saying anymore, the content of my arguments, because they're so caught up in the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't lead. People don't believe in me anymore, so I can't effectively lead anymore. That's the most important aspect of being a leader. You got to have people believe in you.
Yes.
If you're not a leader, if people don't believe in you, then you're just a person who's in charge for now. But if people don't believe in you, you're not a leader. Well, we had reached the point at Kentucky where the fan base no longer believed in him. Well, look at this recruiting class they got coming in. That used to work. Now it doesn't matter. They say, look at the recruiting class you just brought in. Reed Shepard, Rob Dillingham, Aaron Bradshaw, DJ Wagner. Your next recruiting class ain't that good. And what did that one get us? Mm-hmm. We got Jack Golke in the first round.
Yep.
They didn't believe in him anymore. And when people stop believing you, it's hard to continue to do a job like that. A big, very public job. People don't believe in you, it's over. Same thing, lesser level, happened to Josh Pastner here. It didn't matter anymore whether he was doing a good job or a bad job. People didn't believe in him anymore. Once people don't believe in you, the job becomes difficult. So it was time to go. And John won't have to leave much money, if any money, on the table to make this move. He'll have all of the resources he needs to be effective at Arkansas. And that is among the reasons it's reasonable to believe he will be effective at Arkansas. But the counter argument is he's had all the resources to do whatever he wants to do at Kentucky. And he ain't been operating at the tip top of the sport, for quite some time. He's been operating at the tip top of the recruiting rankings consistently, almost without exception. But it's been a minute since he's been running one of the best basketball programs in the country. And so if you're an Arkansas fan saying, we're giving John Calipari everything he could possibly need, that's going to guarantee success. I'm confident a Kentucky fan is going to counter that with, buddy, you ain't going to give him nothing he ain't already had. And it ain't worked so well for a long time around here. But we'll see. I actually do think there's something to be said for this. Sometimes when you've been somewhere 15 years or any extended period of time, particularly if you're successful, you can start to get comfortable and content. And, maybe that one phone call you used to make, you don't have to make it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that one extra grassroots game you were going to go to, you can maybe pop out of that one. This happened. It's a very natural human. It's like human nature. In fact, I had a conversation with Roy Williams about this one time. And now I'm getting off track, but, I'm back in studio. Why not? So I'm talking to Roy Williams one time. One of the things I had noticed about him forever is that when you were, at a grassroots event, let's just say Peach Jam. The way Peach Jam used to work is the 17 and under, so the rising seniors, the players most coaches are there to see, they would play in the morning. So something like 9, 10:30, and then at noon. So like 3 games back to back to back, 4 different courts. It's all the best soon-to-be high school seniors in America playing basketball in 3 games stacked back to back to back to each other. So all the coaches in the country are there. Mm-hmm. They're in the gym, and so there's that 8 o'clock tip, and then that 9:30 tip, and then whatever it is. And then in the mid-afternoon, the young kids play, like the 15-year-olds and the 14-year-olds.
Yep.
And then the older kids come back that night, and that's the night session. So a very normal routine for somebody of the stature of Roy Williams is you get in there for the seniors, and then you go to lunch, maybe get a workout in, maybe get a nap in, whatever you want to do, and then you come back for the night session. Mm-hmm. That's the way most coaches do it. Mm-hmm. I always noticed that Roy Williams never left the gym. He was in there from 8 in the morning till midnight. If you were watching 14-year-olds play in the middle of the day, typically that's where a big-time program might send an assistant or two. Like, hey, yeah, go keep an eye on these 15-year-olds, but I'm going to go get some lunch. Hey, go check out this rising sophomore, little guard from New Jersey. I'm going to go get a workout in. But I always noticed Roy Williams never left the gym. And you know what he told me? I love this quote. And so it's a little self-deprecating because Roy Williams is a great coach, was a great coach. But this is what he told me. I'll never forget this, and I loved it. He said, I've been doing this a little while. I said, yeah, I know. That's why that's why we're talking about it. Because my premise was, you're the head coach at North Carolina, and a Hall of Famer, an icon in the sport. I doubt you need to be in here putting in work with these 15-year-olds. You're the type of coach who can let the Tennessee coach and the Ohio State coach and the Auburn coach and whoever, like, put in the work with the 15-year-olds. And then 2 years later, having never talked to anybody before, you can pick up the phone and say, this is Roy Williams from the University of North Carolina, and you're in there. You don't have to lay all the groundwork. You're Roy Williams at North Carolina. You don't have to work like this anymore. Why are you? You know what he said? He said, I've been doing this a long time, and you know one of the things I know? He said, this might be the one thing I know. He said, the one thing I know is that when I've got really good players, great players, I can win. I know I'm good enough to win with great players. I know that about me. I'm very sure of that. He said, you know what I'm not sure of? I said, what? He said, I don't know if I can not win with good players. Some coaches can. I don't know if I can. I've never not had good players. I've coached at Kansas and North Carolina. Other coaches can win with not good players. I've seen them do it. I admire them. Maybe I could, maybe I couldn't, but I don't know. And you know what he said? And I never want to find out. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here all day long. That's why I'm watching all day long, evaluating all day long, working all day long, because I never want to find out if I can win with less than great players, because I'm not sure that I can. But I know that I can win with great ones, and I know the way to get the great ones is to be here like this, so that's why I'm here. I love that. My point is, not everybody is wired that way. Mm-hmm. Most people aren't. Most people go, I'm operating at the extremely high level. I'm at the tip top of my profession, and I can probably stay here. Do I really need to do this today? Do I really need to do this today? Circle this back to John Calipari. You talk to people who are around that Kentucky program, they will tell you he got caught up in that a little bit, that he got a little comfortable, that he got to the point where I can get these five-star freshmen without having to work or evaluate or do the things that I used to do. I can get them anyway, so I don't have to do the work anymore. And then the sport changed around him, and he was slow to change with it. That's an oversimplification, but it's true. It became clear winning with five-star freshmen wasn't the way to go anymore, and he was slow to adjust to that. And that is among the reasons the stuff started to unravel a little bit at Kentucky. But if you're an Arkansas fan, and it took me a minute to get here, but this is where I was trying to get, I do think sometimes when you are humbled in such a public way, and he has been here, I promise you he never thought he would have to make a video telling Kentucky fans it's just time for me to move on, without it being for the Lakers job or something like that. To leave, if you'd have told him 10 years ago you will one day leave Kentucky for Arkansas, he would have laughed at you. You realize he turned down Arkansas once upon a time when he was the head coach at Memphis. Think about that. He couldn't wait to leave Memphis for Kentucky, even though he turned down Arkansas while at Memphis. And now he's leaving Kentucky for Arkansas. Why? Because his life got miserable at Kentucky. His life was never really miserable at Memphis. Mm-hmm. It got so bad at Kentucky it makes sense. But when you are humbled in this way, and I promise you, so eager to prove to, because this would be human nature, to prove to the fans that used to adore you who now didn't want you anymore, don't you want to prove to them, oh, they think they're better off without me? We'll see. You think you're better off without me? Okay, we'll see. Keep in mind, he never did really run it into the ground.
No.
Some disappointments, but they were 3 seed in the NCAA tournament this past year. It's not like he ran it completely into the ground. But you think you don't need me anymore? I bet you he's re-energized, refocused, remotivated. I don't know if it means he'll win a national championship at Arkansas or even go to Final Fours, but I bet you he'll kill himself trying to do it. I think Arkansas is getting a motivated, humbled John Calipari, and that could theoretically be a dangerous John Calipari. As for what does Kentucky do next, my colleague John Rothstein's reporting that Mitch Barnhart is going to meet with Baylor coach Scott Drew officially soon. And I tell you, if I were a Baylor fan, that would terrify me.
Yes.
You want to know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because John's the best college basketball reporter on the planet, and he chooses his words intentionally. And he could have just said Kentucky is expected to meet with Scott Drew, or Kentucky is expected to prioritize Scott Drew. He said they're going to meet with him officially. There's no need to meet with him officially. You don't have to do that. You don't have to meet with him at all to get this thing worked out or to find out if he's interested. When it is already being reported that they're going to meet with him officially, it sounds like Scott Drew's going to be the next head coach at Kentucky.
Yep. I agree with that. Because who's the other one? Billy Donovan is the other name that's been thrown out there.
Yeah, and I know he was asked about it last night.
Yep, and kind of blew it off a little bit.
Yeah, but it was like, well, Billy Donovan declined. He didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, I'm focused on the Bulls. Well, why wouldn't you be focused on the Bulls?
Right.
It'd be like if you asked me, hey, GP, do you want to host The Late Show? Stephen Colbert's retiring. GP, you want to host The Late Show? And I said, I'm focused on this show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true. I am focused on this show right now. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in hosting The Late Show, right? That's all Billy did last night.
Yep.
The issue there is the Bulls are going to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
And Billy is not going to walk away from that team. He just wouldn't do it. He's not Bobby Petrino.
Right.
And
he's already had with the Magic and all that
stuff.
stuff.
I don't even think that. I just think that I think Billy Donovan would be interested in a perfect situation, but there is no perfect situation. Kentucky needs a coach today.
Yeah.
Because the transfer portal, this stuff whoever the next Kentucky coach is going to be, he's got to build a team from nothing.
Yeah.
So the play-in's not till next week. If Billy's not walking away from that team, and if you're Kentucky, do you really want to wait?
Oh, if I was a UK fan, I'd rather have Scott Drew.
And there's the other thing.
Because I know that he can win in the NIL era. I don't know. We haven't seen Billy Donovan coach in the NIL era. Yeah.
And there's some thought that maybe this isn't like, do we wait for Billy Donovan or take Scott Drew now? It might just be, we'd rather have Scott Drew anyway. So, of course, we take Scott Drew now.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it's headed that direction. I love Scott Drew. I could argue Billy Donovan. I could argue Scott Drew. I think either one of them would kill it at Kentucky. But it does appear that this is headed towards Scott Drew's direction. And I have said over the years many times, like, at some point, just leave well enough alone. Like, you're the king on that. The Scott Drew story is the most amazing college basketball coaching story ever. I mean, he took over the worst powerful program you can imagine, a program overwhelmed with scandal because of a murder. Like, a player literally murdered another player. Like, remember the scandal John Calipari had to take over Memphis? It was a coach,
right,
acting inappropriately.
Right.
It wasn't a player murdering another player. That's what Scott Drew walked into. To build that into what he's built it into, to have a national championship, my thing has always been, why do you want to walk away from that, right? Most people don't. But my other thing is, I don't tell other people what to do with their careers because I didn't, I've made career choices where that maybe other people wouldn't have made. So, and I have my own reasons for doing that. They make sense to me, whether they make sense to other people. And so I'm always aware that other people could have similar things. Like, maybe you wouldn't leave for Kentucky, but let me tell you why I would. So I'm always open. I try to be as open-minded about it as I can be. And so you never know when, Scott's been there a long, long time. And you just go, I've done everything I can do here. I've got the national championship. I will always be the most accomplished coach in Baylor basketball history. And, I did grow up in Indiana. And Indiana shares a border with Kentucky. And my father was a college basketball coach. And, man, I grew up dreaming about ever coaching at a place like that. And now I'm finally going to get the opportunity. It'll be hard to leave Baylor, but I can't pass on this possibility. I get that on some level. And that appears like it might be where we're headed. Again, the news official now, John Calipari, coach at Arkansas, Scott Drew meeting with Kentucky. Thing could get wrapped up pretty quickly.
Number 2.
Television ratings are in, and it's now official. The women's national title game outdrew the men's national title game. Does that mean that women's basketball, Bennett, is now bigger than men's basketball?
No.
But it is an interesting development.
Yeah, I think it was a little.
It should be celebrated by the women's sport.
Absolutely. I think it was a perfect storm of star power and and this one big figure that's, I mean, obviously the national championship game, you have the best team going up against this just star player that's had this meteoric rise. So it was like the perfect culmination of things for that to happen. But do I think it's like bigger than the NCAA? No, I don't. I also think that even though UConn's a big brand, I don't necessarily know how big Purdue UConn is in the grand scheme of college basketball national championship game.
Well, here's the thing. I've seen some people say UConn's a problem. That UConn is a ratings killer. I don't
think I agree with that.
I don't even know if that, because I was just scrolling Twitter this morning, and I saw somebody, tweet out. I'm not scared to ask something like this. I'm not scared to ask the question everybody's thinking, and I'm like, ooh, what is the question everybody's thinking? I'd like to know. And then he was like, is UConn's a ratings killer? And I said, is that the question everybody's thinking? Have you thought that?
No.
I didn't think of that either.
No, I didn't think of that.
I didn't know people were thinking that.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
I think starting a national championship game on a Monday night at 8:20 p.m. Central is a horrible idea that has to change.
Okay. I understand it's a horrible idea for you, and I don't love it either, if I'm being honest. I will tell you, just because this is a very common opinion, I'm glad you brought it up. If you just put me in charge, like what's best for Gary Parrish, I'd start it earlier too, right?
Yep.
Here's the thing: when people say things like, "It's crazy to start a game at 9:20 Eastern," they know what they're doing.
I know they know what they're doing.
They have all the data available. They have.
They were also on the West Coast.
But that has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Because this is just a television product.
I got you.
Honestly, starting I think our game started on the West Coast. Like we started at like 6 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah.
So what time did it start here? 8:20.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started at 6:20. We were walking. It was like daylight after the first game. Oh, the national semifinals on Saturday. They started early. I went to the first game with Kelly. Kelly went to the Final Four with me, and she and I went to the first game, the Purdue NC State game.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first game, I had to get back to the set, and she stayed inside and watched the second game. But I just thought it was interesting. I walked outside after the first game of the national semifinals. Sunshine.
Yeah.
It's daytime.
Okay, I think that and I know they have the data and know this stuff way better than I do. My personal opinion is that if the men's college, let's say if all things are equal and the men played their game at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, it would have had a massive number, bigger than the rating that they got.
Okay.
A massive
I'll tell you the
number.
bigger difference. It's got nothing to do with when the games start. In fact, from a television viewing perspective, this is the thing that sometimes gets it twisted. Starting the game at 9:20 p.m. Eastern on a Monday night is actually better than starting it at 3 Eastern on a Sunday afternoon. The better television window is that Monday night window. The issue, and if you want to know why these numbers came in the way they did with the women's game getting more than the men's, in addition to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's the biggest reason.
For sure.
For sure.
Going up against the undefeated South Carolina, right? Yeah. It's a good story.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
The bigger reason is one game was on ABC and the other one was on TBS.
Well, like, what the hell's up with that?
Well, Turner pays for 80% of the tournament.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it was CBS's tournament forever.
Yeah.
And then we went into business with Turner.
Right.
And Turner, I believe, and I'm not telling secrets here.
No.
I think it's all, you could Google this. I believe Turner now pays for 80% of the NCAA tournament. They cover 80% of the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some say in this stuff, right? So every other year, the national championship game is on TBS, and that impacts ratings. It just does.
Of course.
I know it's easy to just like, well, just it's this channel instead of this channel, but it is a real difference maker.
Yes.
Everybody knows exactly where CBS is on their TV.
That's right.
And not everybody knows exactly where TBS is, and it's just true. If you make things even a little bit harder or different for people, they just give up. They just don't. And so that's the biggest thing. But in terms of the television windows, I think it's, on a personal level, I hate that young people on the East Coast cannot reasonably watch the national championship game with school the next morning, right? I hate, like, my kids both slept through the national championship game.
Yeah.
Because they had school the next morning, and they were in the Central time zone. I hate that. What I'm trying to say is all the data, if there was any data whatsoever that said they should start the national championship game earlier than 9:20 p.m. Eastern on the Monday night, they would. It's just that they know what works because you have a whole West Coast. It's 6:20 tip for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was 6:20 tip for us. So think about every hour you move it earlier. People in the East are saying, you got to move this earlier. Well, now it's 5:20 on the West Coast. Traditional workers, you get off work at 5 in L.A., buddy, I'm telling you, you ain't home by 6. So in an attempt to not lose a significant part of the country, you start it later.
Right.
They have their I don't like it either. I don't like it either. But they have their reasons. It is to maximize the audience. That's the way to do it. But the biggest thing, it was a perfect storm of Caitlin Clark and undefeated South Carolina. And really it was, when you combine that with the fact that the men's game was on TBS, it was unsurprising that the women's outdrew the men. It doesn't mean exactly what everybody else is trying to tell you it means, but it's still a significant moment in the history of college athletics because it's never happened before. I can explain to you why it happened this time, but it is also true that it's never happened before. So it's significant. And as for is UConn a television ratings killer? I actually think the context matters there too. UConn last year, guess who they had to play in the national title game? San Diego State. That's the problem.
Yeah.
When you put anything against San Diego State in a title game, well, the number is going to be low, even for CBS. So last year we got a relatively low number on CBS because it was San Diego State. This time we actually got UConn Purdue. That was good. 2 big brands, 2 power conference champions, a reigning champ against the player of the year. Everything was there. You know what killed that part? TBS instead of CBS.
Yeah,
that was the issue there. So, that's your explanation for how we got the television ratings. But I'm happy for everybody.
Me too.
That's what I was trying to say, Bennett.
Number 3.
Wild story. Did you miss these? Did you miss these? Be honest.
I'm vaguely familiar with this story.
The search was called off last night.
Uh-huh.
Happened late last week.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. Was holding out hope for the best, but we got the news last night. The search has been halted for a 20-year-old American man who jumped off of a cruise ship after an argument with his father. So let me tell you what happened.
Okay, what happened?
This fella's 20 years old. He's on a cruise with his family. Mom, dad, whole deal, right?
Yep.
Family cruise. Hey guys, guess what we're doing? Guess what we're doing right after Easter?
Yep.
What are we doing, Pops?
Yep.
We're going on a family cruise. All right, that sounds great. So far, so good. 20-year-old fella, what are you doing on a cruise? If you drink, you drink. So he's drinking. Underage drinking. That's probably not the best, is it?
You're on a cruise. I think things are a little different on a cruise.
It's none of my business.
I think things are different on a cruise. I think you can get away with stuff.
I think you probably get away with stuff.
Yeah, you're paying for the experience.
You're paying for the experience.
Yep.
So this 20-year-old fella, he's in a hot tub with a bunch of other, young people, and they're just having a good time on a
Nice.
cruise. So far, so good. He's in the hot tub. You drinky. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Probably ain't 10 minutes away from somebody's top coming off.
Probably not.
If I know hot tubs the way I know hot tubs,
Yep.
That's
how these things go.
This is how these things go. 1 minute you're in one minute it's like somebody says, hey, you want to get in the hot tub? You always know where that's going, right?
Yeah, that's a trigger.
Oh, boy.
That's a trigger.
That's like asking somebody if they want to come over and watch a movie.
Yeah.
You ain't never wanted somebody to come over and watch a movie with you.
Right.
Have you ever actually wanted to watch a movie with somebody?
I like movies.
I like movies too. But
Yeah,
have you ever
I
called?
love movies.
But wouldn't you rather just watch them alone?
Yeah.
You ain't never invited somebody over to your house to watch a movie with you.
No.
To actually watch a movie with you.
No.
Like, hey, I was thinking about watching a movie, but I thought, you know what? I'd be bored out of my mind if I watched it by myself. Why don't you come sit down on the couch with me and watch a movie with me?
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Nobody wants to watch a movie with nobody else.
No.
No. If you ask me to watch a movie with you, I know what you're up to. You know?
Same with a hot tub.
You're right. Hot tub's exactly the right.
If you want to get in the hot tub, we know what that means.
If somebody says, hey, you want to get, hey, y'all want to get in the hot tub? I know what's going on.
Yes.
I know what you're trying to do. Give me 10 minutes. Top's coming off, right?
Yeah.
I've been in these situations.
Because you know what? I don't want to get too far off topic. I haven't either. But like, it's different with a swimming pool.
If you don't want to get too far off topic, this is a bad show for you.
I know. But like, isn't that weird? Like swimming pool, no one's really thinking that.
Yeah, if somebody says
you want to come get in the pool,
if somebody says, "Hey, you want to get in the pool?" I'm like, "Of course, let's get in the pool."
Yeah, let's get in the pool.
But if somebody says, if somebody says you want to get in the hot tub, it's like,
really?
Oh, you're trying to do it.
Me?
Oh, you're trying to do it.
You want to get in the hot tub with me?
You're trying to do it.
Yeah,
it's sort of the same
weird.
Thing.
That's
it's
weird.
Sort of the same thing as somebody says, "Hey, you want to get in the pool?" I don't think nothing of it. But if they say, "Hey, you want to get in the bath?" I go, "Okay, I see what's up.
Yeah,
I see what's going on here." So they're on a cruise. It's a bunch of young people on a cruise, and now they're in the hot tub. I know where this thing's going.
Yeah,
I know what's going on. Well, then, Buddy's dad, he showed up.
Oh, come on, Dad.
Oh, C blocker if I ever seen one.
Ruining everything.
C blocker if I ever seen one.
I thought we were on vacation.
I thought we were on vacation. All right?
Yep.
C blocker if I ever seen one. Dad comes down. What are you doing? Drinking like this.
Mm-hmm.
Young guy's slurring his words because, he's been drinking.
Yeah.
He's drunk.
Yes.
Oh, buddy, he's out of it. And dad's upset.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing drinking like this? Dad's going in on the young man, on his son, right in front of all the other young people. The other young people don't really know what to do. 20-year-old son looks at his dad. Dad's yelling at him. Dad's upset with him. Dad's calling him a drunk. You know what the 20-year-old man said?
What'd he do?
He said, all right, Pops, I can fix this right now. And he jumped off the ship.
Man.
Night.
You gotta be careful with alcohol,
Night.
dude. You can't abuse alcohol. It makes you make stupid decisions.
Night.
Yeah.
Do you think you could be so drunk that you would jump off of a ship? Because it scared me. Think about this. Because you like to drink, don't you?
I do like to drink.
Sometimes I like to drink too, Bennett. Sometimes I like to drink too. Have you ever been scared that you could get so drunk that you really might jump off of a ship or do something similarly crazy?
I've never jumped off a ship.
Me neither.
I've done some wild stuff.
Name the wildest thing you've done.
I mean,
like I might fall down, but I've never jumped off a ship or done anything crazy. I don't think I've done anything crazy other than just fall down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would rather not say.
I would rather you say.
I know you would.
Did you commit a felony while intoxicated?
No comment, and I would never implicate myself like that.
Okay.
So I'll just leave it at no comment on that. Okay. I mean, I've done some wild stuff. I've taken my shirt off and acted crazy at places I wasn't supposed to.
Like the Capitol.
No. I wasn't drunk at that. I wasn't there. All right. I wasn't at the freaking Capitol.
You look just like the dudes that were there.
I know I do.
I watched the footage. I swear
it wasn't
not
me.
Only
it
I
wasn't
watched
me.
I watched the footage. Not only am I certain I saw you, I'm certain I saw 75 people exactly like you.
Promise it wasn't me.
I seen the videos. I seen the videos.
Ain't nobody getting me for that.
Well, just think about that. I bet you this young man was not suicidal, although I have no idea. But he didn't seem it. He was in the hot tub having a good time.
Right. No, let me tell you something. That dude did not want to kill himself. I truly believe that.
Doesn't that terrify you?
Yes. Again, I've done things when I'm sloppy.
Right.
Not lately. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yes. That I look back on and I'm like, dude, you could have died.
Yeah, like that.
What's wrong with you?
I might say something I wish I wouldn't have said. You know?
Yes.
I was so drunk, I said something I shouldn't have said.
Yep.
Or I was so drunk, oh, buddy, I rolled all the way down that hill. You know?
Right.
But I was so drunk, I just jumped off of a ship. I never done nothing like that.
No.
But, I bet you that 20-year-old had never thought about jumping. Boy, if you ever need a message to maybe slow down on the drinking.
Yes, that's the one right there.
That's the one right
story
there.
To point
That's
to.
the story to point through.
Yep.
You know? Oh, you can get so drunk that it will make sense to just jump off of a ship because you're mad at your father. And what about the poor dad now? got to live with this forever.
And you had to see it. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, how do you live with that?
Yeah.
Your argument led to your son jumping off of a ship.
I don't. People love going on cruises.
I get not everybody. Not everybody.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I hated it.
I've never.
I almost jumped off a ship.
I've never been on a cruise, and I don't ever want to go on a cruise. First off, I don't like the idea of like being all enclosed like
It's
that.
not fun.
No, I don't like that. Like, there's nowhere to. If you need to like escape and be by yourself, there's nowhere to go.
No, it's just except for the ocean, and you see how that worked out.
Exactly.
You see how that went.
And like, that's not even the only. Like, dude, there was another one. What I thought you were gonna bring up, because this was not that long ago. Some dude, it was on video, jumped off a ship, like just as his friends dared him to jump off the cruise ship. They were all drinking. They dared him to jump off the ship. Got it on video, posted it on TikTok,
night,
and he's gone.
Yeah.
He's dead. Like, he thought he was just going to swim right back.
But that I can chalk that one up to like, okay, well, you're just dumb, and maybe you get what you get. Like, still sad and tragic.
Yeah.
You know, my thoughts are with his family, but we're just going to chalk that one up to you just being kind of stupid. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you remember that old video where them fellas were spinning a car around and then it flipped over on them?
Yeah.
Okay?
I love that video.
It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hilarious video.
Yeah.
Like, thoughts with their families as well.
I don't think anyone died.
Still, I'd like to think about their families.
Yeah, I got you.
If you don't
I got
mind.
you.
I'd still like to think about their families a little bit. But, like, I watch that and I go, well, you kind of did that to yourself.
Yeah.
But when you're just drunk and in a fit of anger at your father, that's wild.
Wild.
What a wild deal.
Dang, man. I ain't got much else to say on it.
I don't either, Bennett. I just, just be careful. I guess if you're going to get blacked out drunk, at least do it on land.
Do it on land.
Do it on land. You can dive off of just do it on land. Let's just start there. Let's just do it on land. Stay on the land.
Number 4.
Jackson Holiday, the number 1 pick of the 2022 MLB draft. The 20-year-old phenom.
Look at him.
He's coming up to Baltimore.
Look at him.
They tried to keep him down, but he kept hitting like crazy.
Dude, I'm excited about this.
What's it like to be excited about baseball, Bennett?
Man, it feels good. It feels good.
I would like to be excited about baseball.
Yeah, it feels really good. Now, the Orioles, the start's been okay. I don't think it hasn't been 1 seed in the AL. So,
Do you know? It's April 10th. I look forward to this day, because this is typically I'm gonna the championship game on Monday, spend Tuesday top 25 and 1 in wrapping up TV stuff, and then I fly home, and then the Wednesday after the title game.
Yep.
Oh, buddy, I know what I'm doing today. I'm watching baseball.
Yep.
This is like maybe my favorite day of the year.
Yes.
The Wednesday after the national title game. I have not watched a single baseball game all year because I've just been
it just started and you've been
consumed
in it. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this day, Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
And this day it's a good day for Baltimore. It's a bad day for me. I got nothing to be excited about when it comes to baseball.
I mean, dude, it's not.
They're already done.
No, they're not. They
stink.
They're not done. 4-7 is not even close to done.
They stink.
Now
it's a miracle they're 4-7. They somehow beat the Braves. I went through security yesterday.
Now NL East, no, that's done. NL East is done. Okay, yeah. I'll acknowledge that for you.
I went through security yesterday at the Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix, and I had my goofy Mets hat on, and a fella goes at TSA. He said, "I bet against the Mets yesterday." And lost. And I said, well, because the Mets somehow beat the Braves.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened.
Baseball's a weird sport to try to bet on, dude.
This fella said, I bet against the Mets and I lost. And I said, well, I've been betting on the Mets for years and I usually lose. So
there you go.
Yeah. You just caught them on the wrong day.
Yeah, right. No, dude, it's not. I think y'all might need to start thinking about doing something.
Like my life's pretty good, Bennett. But last season, I had to go through an entire baseball season of suckiness, and then I transitioned right into the Grizzlies season. You know how that went.
Yep.
And now I'm back to sucky baseball.
I mean, dude,
where am I supposed to find my joy?
Dude, you got a chance.
Where do I find my joy?
You can find your joy. So you got a chance to win this Braves series. Like, it's still right there in front of you, and then that's going to get
Can't win a Braves series.
It's right there in front of you. Win today, you're good.
Can't win today.
Win today,
Never
and
win.
you're good. If you win today, okay. I know that like hanging anything on one game of regular season of baseball is irrational and stupid. If you win today, you're going to be a little more excited, aren't you? If y'all win today and get to 5-7 and win this Braves series, because it's just 3 games, right?
I think there's another one. I think we go to again tomorrow.
Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well,
See what I'm saying?
even the series.
Okay.
Tie the series.
I'd like that. I'll take a tie.
You'd be excited. You'd feel a lot better than you do right now.
Yeah, maybe I'm just beaten down right now. You know,
would feel a lot
maybe
better
I'm
than
just
you do
beaten
right
down.
now.
Maybe I'm just beaten down. Maybe I just need to get in front of the TV and start soaking it in. You know,
Yeah, tonight's big. Tonight's a big one.
it's a big opportunity today.
Yes,
All right, I
tonight's
just need to get in front. Maybe I just need to get in front of the TV.
Tonight's big for you.
All right, I'm
morale.
looking forward to getting in front of the TV.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations to you, though.
I'm pumped.
Jackson Holiday's coming up. Hey, they didn't want to fast track him like this. That was not the plan. But they can't keep him at triple. Like he went down to AAA in all seriousness and just went
Crushed
pop,
it.
pop, pop.
Yeah, he had an amazing spring training, amazing AAA start. And the thing that was kind of surprising about that is the Orioles have actually had success with bringing these guys up early, like Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson.
Right.
Like, they've had success throwing these guys in the fire.
I don't run a baseball franchise,
Yeah.
but I don't understand why you just got to we don't do this in other sports.
No.
You don't draft college football players and then make them play something other than the NFL for 2 years.
Right.
But or you don't draft like imagine if Victor Wembanyama was going to play in the G League for 2 years before he got to the NBA.
It's crazy.
That's what they do in baseball, though.
Yeah, and the thing is it's not like you're preventing wear and tear or anything like that. They're still playing AAA baseball, so what's the point?
It's just they feel like they got to slow play everything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
get
confident. I'm confident they know what they're doing. But like, why can you draft a 19-year-old in the NBA and just it's understood he's going straight to the NBA and that's where he belongs?
Right.
But if you draft a 19-year-old out of high school in Major League Baseball, it's like we'll see him in 3 years.
Yeah. I also didn't realize this. There's another reason they're doing this. So because they're calling him up within the first 2 weeks of the season, there's something called the prospect promotion incentive that I didn't know nothing about. So Baltimore gets an extra first-round pick for bringing him up before this deadline.
Because franchises used to manipulate your service time. They'd keep you down. This was a big thing with Chris Bryant in Chicago. It was like so obviously like they should have brought like they brought whatever they brought Chris Bryant up. His talent suggested he should have already been up, but they had to wait to a certain date to be able to get an extra year before he would enter free agency. So there was this huge like franchises are manipulating service time, and this is one way to try to alleviate that is to hey, if you bring him up, you won't get that extra year before he hits free agency, but we can compensate you in another way. So congratulations. I'm glad you're happy. I'm just happy.
Very happy.
I'm happy for you guys.
Go O's.
Go O's. Go O's.
Number 5.
Hey, today's
What's
Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what that means? Tomorrow's Thursday.
Oh, man.
You know what that
It's
means?
a big week in this
Oh,
building.
It's a big week.
Big week in this
It's a
building.
big
You
week
saw
over
the shit
yonder.
sitting out there.
It's a big week over yonder. It's a big week over there on yonder. Masters. The Masters is here.
Yep.
It's a tradition, Bennett.
Yes, it is.
Unlike,
It's like when I start really getting into golf.
it's like now it's the only time anybody is into golf.
Yes.
They've done messed up golf so much. It's the only time anybody cares about golf.
Right, that's true.
Like the Masters is its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be massive. But it'll be like the last time you think about golf for a little while because we've now reached the point where
When's the U.S. Open? When's all that stuff?
well, it's like golf is trending toward tennis, where you watch the majors and everything else is
that's true.
Everything else is just stuff that happens.
That is true.
Unfortunately, perhaps we'll figure this stuff out someday. But by the time we're sitting here tomorrow, Bennett, we're gonna have a leaderboard.
Yep.
And you know what happens when we have a leaderboard? We get Masters updates.
I'm ready for the Masters updates.
Right over there.
I'm ready. It's a tradition unlike any other.
Bennett, you know me.
Yep.
I'm usually like rep your hood, and then I got to get out of here.
Yep.
I might be the type of guy that sticks around to watch the Master updates in person.
I'll stick around. I hope they don't get rained out tomorrow.
I never been here for a Masters update because if you remember last year, I had to go straight from the Final Four back to New York to guest host Time to Shine. But I don't have to do that no more.
Yep.
So I'm here for the Masters updates. I might stick around. It's going to be a big day. Do you know who your favorite is?
Is it Scotty?
Of course. Plus
Scotty.
400.
Yeah.
I mean, a big-time favorite.
Who won? Did he win it last year? Who won it last year?
John Rahm.
John Rahm won it last year. Okay, I was looking at the odds. Right now, you can get Tiger at plus 900 to finish in the top 10.
Yeah.
And it sounds like something you just want to throw away. It's a throwaway, but like,
if you want to,
I've thrown away money on worse things.
Oh yeah, if you just want to throw away money, that's a good way to do it.
You never know.
You never know, Bennett.
He shocked the world before at this
He
tournament.
has shocked the world before.
He shocked the world before at this tournament.
This wouldn't be the first time he's ever shocked the world.
I just want a top 10 finish.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
No. You ever see that meme?
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's perfect though, isn't it? It's like this woman. She's asking a very serious question. You see this? You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Okay. So it's this woman, like she's on Twitter or X or Instagram or TikTok. You know,
she does that.
Who could even keep up these days?
Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I know. Oh yeah, I know that one.
That one? That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's this woman and she's asking. You know, sometimes people ask big questions, like they ask big questions. It's like, what is the point of life anyway? And who even knows? What do you think is the point of life?
Oh, save that for a different show.
Right. So you ask him big questions like that, and she said, "What is it that men really want?"
Yeah, I've seen this one.
And then the response is, what men really want is for Tiger Woods to win another major.
It's
true. It is
so
what we all
true.
want.
It's so true.
If Tiger Woods were in contention on Sunday at the Masters, the world would stop.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter whether you think you care about golf or not, whether you're at your parents' house or not, whether you're at kids' baseball games or not, the world would stop.
Yes.
You would be sitting at your kids' baseball game on Sunday afternoon. Baseball field, kids everywhere.
Yep.
And people, you would notice people gathered around phones watching Tiger Woods at the Masters. You would see that. That would really happen. You would be in restaurants and people would be gathered around TVs watching Tiger Woods contend at the Masters. He is unlike it. There is still nobody, no athlete in the world who can stop things the way he could stop things. Now, the problem, of course, is he's not equipped to do it anymore. He has a hard time walking, much less winning golf tournaments.
Yeah.
But the idea of it, there is nothing that could stop sports and just say, hey, everybody, this thing is happening right now. Whatever you're doing, drop it and watch it. Nobody can do that like Tiger Woods, still to this day.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Hey, LeBron James is in the tie score, 3 minutes to go, Game 7 NBA Finals. I don't think it's Tiger Woods is standing on the tee box at 18, needs a par to win the Masters. Even that doesn't compare with that. So
as long as he's entering his name, I'm gonna keep being irrational about it.
I'm gonna be irrational.
I'm gonna keep being irrational about it.
Listen, if Tiger Woods he doesn't tee off till after we're done tomorrow, I believe.
That's right. Yep.
But if Tiger Woods isn't, if Tiger Woods goes out and goes 4 under on Thursday, the whole world is gonna go bananas.
Yeah, 12:30
right
tomorrow.
The whole world goes bananas, right? So I'll be wishing for it, and I love it that he believes in himself to some degree. He said that this week. If everything breaks the right way, I could still see myself doing this. I hope he's right. There would be nothing bigger in sports. There could be nothing bigger in sports. Imagine, play it out however you want. The biggest thing that could happen in sports, there's nothing bigger than Tiger Woods winning the Masters this weekend. There is nothing, draw it up however you want. Nothing bigger could happen in sports this year than Tiger Woods winning the Masters. The problem, of course, is that there's no actual reason to think he could do it. Other than that, he has done it lots of times before. But still fun to see him out there. That's what we should focus on. How many times left we get to see Tiger Woods at Augusta? Not many, right? Pugs and Lane got to go see him yesterday. Guess who was on my flight back from Atlanta last night?
Where they went to the practice round.
Yeah. So I had to go from Phoenix to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then I got on my plane in Atlanta. Guess the first person I see? Pugs. And then Lang and his son were on the plane as well. And they were coming back from Augusta. And I was like, how was it? Amazing.
Yeah.
Who'd you see? Tiger. We're standing 10 feet from Tiger Woods.
How'd he look? Did we get any inside?
They said he looked great. They actually just said it was amazing just to be 10 feet away from Tiger Woods swinging a golf club. You'll have that memory forever.
No doubt.
Like Lang had his son with him. I thought it was sweet. His son was tired, and he was clearly angling to try to miss school today.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it in his eyes. Mm-hmm. And I said, buddy, if I got to get up and go to work tomorrow morning, and if your dad's got to get up and go to work tomorrow morning, and if Mr. Pugs has got to get up and go to work tomorrow morning, then you got to go to school tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
He rolled his eyes at me.
I like Mr. Pugs. I'm going to start calling him Mr. Pugs.
and I don't think Lang's son likes me so much.
No, yeah. I wouldn't like you either.
The first thing I said to him was, you're going to school tomorrow, right? Like it was midnight.
Yeah.
We didn't land until late. I told him he's got to go to school. All right? But they said it was amazing just to be in the presence of Tiger Woods at Augusta National. We're not going to have that too many more times. Even Tiger's told us that. So perhaps we should appreciate that, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
We should just appreciate that. And if you want to get some money and finishing on a top 10 finish, do that too, right?
Don't tempt me.
I'm not tempting you, Bennett.
I'm in.
You know what? I'll be in with you.
I'm already in.
I'm in. Let's do it. I'll get in. Okay. Be back with GP's Carryout.
It's more fun to be there live to see the Memphis Grizzlies hit the court all season long. From the electricity in FedEx Forum to the highlight reel plays, there's nothing quite like Grizzlies basketball. As the official marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies, Ticketmaster gets you in with a huge selection of seats. So get off the couch and into the stands while you still can. Score tickets today at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
We know there's only one team you want to watch, and Bally Sports is the place to get your Grizzlies. Experience the comebacks, the buzzer beaters, the can't-miss Memphis-made moments live. Bally Sports keeps the grind going before and after the game, too, with Pete, Brevin, Fish, and Chris on Grizzlies Live. Watch Grizzlies basketball all season long with Bally Sports and streaming on the Bally Sports app. Bally Sports, home of the only team you want to watch.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
He's looking for the hot hand. Jaron got the step, got the flush. There's no layups on that one.
Electric, rowdy, intense. They bring the same mentality that they bring anywhere into the building. If they were mad about something, they're bringing it in. If they were happy about something, they're bringing it in. So we need all that energy times 1,000.
Welcome back to the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. Grizzlies Cavs coming up tonight. We're going to get Big Bet Bennett's pick soon. Oh, it's time to start picking games again, Bennett.
All right. Okay.
Let's do GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff, but I think the most important thing clearly is a hit dog hollers. Hit dog hollers.
Hit dog hollers.
Bennett,
they say.
You were a hit dog earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
In the opening segment, you showed yourself as a hit dog.
Yep.
You didn't know or had you never heard of hit dog hollers before?
I think I've heard it, maybe.
Hit dog hollers.
Hit dog hollers.
You know what that means? It's when you say something like, let's say you store some orange juice in the fridge in there in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have a fridge in there in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You ever store things in the fridge?
No.
Should you?
No.
Why not?
Because someone's going to take it.
You think people steal?
Yes.
Who steals here? Jessica? Maybe you could see it. You could see it.
No.
I don't think she would steal.
Think she would steal.
Neither do I.
I don't think she would steal.
Who do you think steals?
I can't put my finger on it. I got to get to the bottom of it. But I know things have been taken from that fridge.
Roser?
It's not my stuff. I don't put things in that fridge.
Who do you know?
Roser's interesting. He's a dark horse in this.
Roser.
Yeah, Roser's
I was convinced one night that Roser stole money from me.
Really? Cash?
It's the funniest story. Turns out I was just wrong.
Where was it at?
Oh, who could remember?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. One of those nights. I got it.
But I had one of these nights where I was like, yo, it's not even about the money, but like, I can't believe Roser thought he was trying to.
I thought you were my friend.
I thought I don't even care, but I can't believe he's like trying to get over on me like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't even care about the money, but like, I didn't know he'd try to get under me like that.
Yeah.
And then I realized he didn't. It was all fine.
Yeah.
It was late.
I don't know. He used to get wild.
You don't have to tell me, buddy.
Yep.
I was convinced, though. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in him.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. Like, if you needed that money, it's fine. But to just try to get over on me like that, it broke my heart. And then I realized I just misplaced the money. It was all my fault. But it was about an hour of my life where I was convinced I couldn't trust Roser no more. And then I realized I couldn't trust me was the actual thing. Roser was fine, not the problem. But
Okay.
you think he will get into a fridge and get other people's stuff? Maybe.
I got my eyes on him.
You should keep your eyes on him.
Got my eyes on him.
You should keep your eyes on him.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. This is the point I'm trying to make. Let's say, well, you know, everybody's hanging out there. Everybody's out there just telling their stories and stuff. And I say, it's just frustrating around here. I put some orange juice in the fridge because I'd enjoy some nice OJ, trying to get my vitamin C. Been working like a dog. I need my vitamin C. And somebody's stolen my vitamin C. And then Roser pops up and goes, man, who would do that? Hit dog hollers.
Hit dog hollers.
Ooh, hit dog hollers.
Hit dog hollers.
Hit dog hollers.
Yep.
Then I had to put my eyes on him a little bit. Been at a hit dog hollers. So earlier today I said, hey, I understand if you've lost interest in the Grizzlies season. And you said, I haven't. Well, I wasn't even talking to you, Bennett. I was talking to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking right into my solo camera. I was looking right into my solo. But you were like, I haven't lost interest in the Grizzlies. Hit dog hollers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's all we've learned today.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What's today's biggest game?
Grizzlies Cavs, Bennett. It's a 6 o'clock start up at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. If you need a mortgage, I guess you could go to Rocket Mortgage, huh?
Yeah.
I hear mortgage rates are high these days again. The killing.
Buddy.
Oh, you just moved.
I just bought a house.
Oh, Bennett.
Yeah. No,
You could have timed this a little better.
They're astronomical. Yeah.
Did you talk to somebody about this?
I did. I wonder if the advice I took was good or not. So we'll see. TBD.
Just decided to buy a house right in the middle of the highest interest rates ever.
Yeah. Well, they're not getting any lower.
What do you think's going on in this country?
A lot.
We lost the sun for a second.
Yeah, we lost the sun. We ain't got time to break all that down.
We lost the sun for a second the other day, I gather. I didn't see none of that.
Yep.
I didn't see none of that. But Grizz Cavs.
What's going on?
Well, they're going to play basketball tonight, Bennett. That's what's going on.
Yep.
They have to.
Yeah, they have to play this game.
If they didn't have to, maybe they wouldn't.
Contractually obligated.
They're contractually obligated to play the game, so they will. My God, I'm just looking at this for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the point spread is?
I bet it's Cleveland minus 13.5.
It's minus 18.5.
Are you serious?
Like, is this the highest point spread in the history of the NBA?
Yeah, man. That's brutal. Like, this is hard to do. This is like, because if it was like 13.5, give me the Cavs. 18.5 is crazy.
It's funny, like when you go to the ESPN scoreboard, like it always will have like, the teams and the time and the records and the location, and then it'll have a players to watch segment.
Yeah.
And it's always like the leading scorers who are available for both teams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I noticed yesterday, it's like Grizz Spurs and players to watch, and it's like Victor Wembanyama.
Yep.
And then the Grizzlies, you know who it was? Scottie Pippen Jr.
Oh, my God.
and tonight, it's players to watch. For the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell. For the Grizzlies, Jordan Goodwin. That's where we're at, Bennett.
Dude, honestly, they have a lot to play for, and they've lost 3 in a row. Like, I'll take the I'll take the Cavs.
Minus 18.5.
Did you watch last night's game?
No.
Okay, well, there was not a lot to convince you that it's going to be a competitive game tonight.
Well, that's disappointing to hear.
It's a second night of a back-to-back for the Grizzlies. They just had to get on a plane. It's going to be the same guys playing.
Oh, no.
I'll take the Cavs.
Okay.
I'll take the Cavs.
Bennett's taking the Cavs minus 18.5. What do you want me to do? It's not up to me.
What are we watching on TV?
All right. Oh, buddy, you know what else I'm excited about, Bennett? I'm about to start watching TV again.
Good.
I'm going to catch up on some stuff.
Good.
I finished Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you?
Yeah, it was a good finale. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really funny.
I'm going to miss that show.
Yeah, I miss it too.
It's just funny.
Yep.
It's just funny.
I'm going to miss it too.
Okay, tonight I got something for you new.
What's up?
9 o'clock tonight on TLC.
I don't like TLC.
It's the first season. They've got a new show.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called Take My Tumor.
They love doing these gross-ass tumor, pimple, body disfigurement shows. I don't like it.
People have tumors and they want other people to take them. And now we have a whole show built around that. Are you interested in watching people take other people's tumors?
No.
Do people watch this?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't imagine pitching this stuff in a room. Like, hey, I got an idea for a show. And that's your idea. Why don't we take people's tumors, put it on TV?
Gross.
It does feel gross, right? Although, like, maybe look at the bright side, Bennett. If you had a tumor, you would like somebody to take it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, so maybe think about it from that perspective.
Okay.
Hey, congratulations on not having a tumor, and I hope you live your whole life like that. But on the off chance you end up with one someday, you'll be begging for TLC to be there for you.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Bennett, you laugh at TLC up until you need them. You know? One day it might be the best blessing you ever get. TLC calls and says, hey, Bennett, it's season 13 of Take My Tumor. Could we take your tumor? Wouldn't that be a blessing?
No.
You might need TLC to take a tumor from you someday.
Maybe.
And then what? Then maybe you'll be a little less dismissive of them.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not watching.
9 o'clock tonight on TLC.
What's the best thing we've read?
Kyle Porter, my colleague at CBS Sports, best golf writer in the business as far as I'm concerned. He's writing about the Masters nonstop. He's got a piece up right now on why it's going to be difficult for Jon Rahm to repeat. Spoiler alert, the presence of Scotty Scheffler, probably part of it. If you haven't read that yet, go find it at cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's going to be Thursday. You know how much I love Thursdays.
Yep.
Can't wait for that. First round of the Masters. Get to look back at Grizzlies Cavs.
I guess.
I mean, Bennett. Thursday. Hey, this is true. You ready for this? Thursday's going to be the first time I've done a show in this studio on like a normal night of sleep in months.
I know. I was just, you're right. You're typically in New York. Yep.
Look at me. Take a look at look at me.
I'm looking.
I'm beaten down.
Yep.
I haven't slept well in a long time. I ain't been taking so good care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I almost died in Final Four. I didn't even talk to you about that.
Okay.
Do you realize I almost had to go directly from a Sting concert to the hospital?
No.
Do you realize that Wally Zerbiak was on the verge of driving me to the hospital?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
I think I was just overworked, seriously.
Oh, you're just like exhaustion?
Exhaustion hit with...
I'm going to faint?
I was really like about to fall out. Like my wife and Wally Zerbiak were on the verge of taking me to the hospital.
Damn,
that's really
dude.
where we were. I had overworked myself to that degree, I think. It was a rough, say, 30 hours or so.
Yeah.
And I feel much better now than
Good.
that. I don't even know how I got through those days. But I still have, I'm not fresh right now, but look at me.
Yeah.
Next time you see me, Bennett, look at me. Next time you see me, I'm going to be so fresh.
Cool.
I'm going to be well rested.
Good.
I'm probably look 15 years younger. I'm going to look like a much younger bald person.
Good.
Can't wait. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.